Hello, my name's Scott Fashel, and I'm here with the speakers of an upcoming seminar we have at the Washington, D.C. chapter of ISACA. On the dark web, so would you please introduce yourself and tell us about the seminar coming up?
Sure. My name is Babur, behavioral scientist, and I have my colleague here, Warren. So our seminar is on the deep in the dark web, what it is. We're going to relate it to the common people, so most people can relate to it, whether you're an IT professional, cybersecurity, or an auditor, and it's going to be July 11th and 12th.
Warren, tell us about your background and what you'll be talking about.
So I'm Warren Holston. I'm the author of Beware the Predator, and we are using the book as a foundation for discussing the social aspects of cybersecurity and how your behavior is more important, or at least equally important, to the various tools, software tools, for protecting yourself and your company.
So let me ask about who should attend. Is this probably for someone with a technical background, or is it, you mentioned common people, or is it if someone's an auditor, are you going to explain the basics? How's it going to handle?
Sure. So the course is set up in such a way that, again, going back to Warren's point, it's all about behavior, and his book is the foundation of cybersecurity. Security starts at home. So you don't have to have experience to attend. So we will work off of the basics, what it is and how it occurs. It's a concept, and we'll teach through that, and then there will be some practical exercises. But the course is designed so that anyone can do it, whether you're in academia, you're a professional, auditor, cyber, or all the other domains as well. And we will have guides, step-by-step guides. Obviously, we have Warren and myself to walk through that as well. So really the objective is to provide awareness. I've read many articles that says that dark web is the 96%, and if that's the 96%, why aren't we talking enough? So that's how this came up. I picked up Warren's book, started reading it. I was like, okay, this makes sense. Role-based training, it does not work. That's my opinion. It has never worked. So let's try a different aspect. And if the biggest part is deep in the dark, it's gated, or you need special tool, and that's what everyone mentions when someone gets breached. So why not we start from there? I think there's value for most people out there.
Warren, I know companies are just pouring so much money into cybersecurity these days, but it seems with the dark web, they're leaving the back door open. Is that a fair assessment?
That is a fair assessment because a lot of people don't really understand how the dark web works, or even the deep web for that matter. So some of the things that we're going to talk about is both how to use the dark web to assess yourself or your company's data and see what's out there, and because there are companies that do this, that will scour the dark web for you and look for breaches, search for your name, reputational kinds of things. But there's a lot of that you can do yourself once you understand how the system works. And the system does not work the same way as it does on the surface web. So we're going to discuss that. We're going to provide a number of tools, or access to a number of free tools, show you how to use the tools to be able to look through the dark web safely, and the key term there is safely, because you can hurt yourself, and explain what is safely on the dark web. Conversely, we're also going to talk about ways that you can use the dark web or private managed attribution networks for personal security, for protecting your own anonymity, to prevent breaches that end up in the illicit sites.
Well, it sounds like it's set to be a broad stroke of covering so many topics. Learn the basics, and also what you can apply to your own company, and what auditors can take back to look for to help protect their company, and what to check for on an ongoing basis.
Absolutely, and I would like to add to that. So we talk about audit. I call it practical assessments, the same thing. Mm-hmm. Those are great things, but oftentimes that I have seen from my experience working for private and public sectors, I'm an auditor. I walk in, someone gives me a stack of papers. I go for 2 weeks, review that, come back and do a few interviews without really understanding the actual system itself. So underlying, infrastructure matters. And once we start talking about the terminology, what deep and dark web is, deep web, everyone uses it. Most people do. but we just don't know how to define it and what it is. So that's the point, to bring a different perspective to auditors. When you're looking at it, look maybe from the adversarial perspective. So why do we do audit? To make sure that you have all the security controls in place, whether it's privacy, security, reliability, safety, as Warren was mentioning. But at the same time, you have to understand, say, you did everything that you did. You mentioned a backdoor. There's always a backdoor. Your adversary got in, and you have to understand what is it that they're trying to get. And many articles out there, with the ones that we shared with you last week, that talks about so-and-so breach happened, and then the data was dumped at the dark web. Back to Warren's point, we will show you how you can do that safely through managed attribution, so that likelihood of someone tracking it back to you is really limited. So those are the things I think is really important. Those are the foundations to IT audit, cybersecurity, and the internet itself.
Great. Well, thank you both very much. Looking forward to the seminar.
Thank you.